I guess I have an announcement, a double announcement. First of all, this book is basically a pocket guide to DBT without the fancy lingo and without the group sessions. So I recommend it to just about anyone. Because like I said, what you learn in DBT is a lot of it is extremely helpful in coping with life. The problem is the exercises they give you, the process of DBT is actually more hurtful for somebody with avoidant personality disorder than not. So read this book and it glazes over. That's not quite what I was going to say, but it skims over is what I was trying to say. Some of the things really, really fast, like mindfulness, which is about half of DBT because it's so effective to learn real mindfulness, not, the goofy, yoga version of it, but really, truly pull yourself back into reality instead of being stuck in an infinite loop in your head. That it goes over it really, 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 really quick, like a couple sentences here and there, that sort of thing. But really, truly, this is, if you're thinking of DBT but don't want to go through the hell of DBT, I recommend this book. The other thing is, so I've been going through it, and how I deal best with extreme stress and the best distraction for me, it's a personal thing. I understand what I do drives other people completely bonkers. Is to go someplace where I'm never going to run into anybody again, where I can do some massively, stupid stuff to me that I would like be going through my brain from now until the end of time about how I'm being judged. And oh my God, am I going to walk down the street and see that person that saw me do this weird thing? When I go away someplace radically different with this extremely tiny chance of running into somebody that has, that I met there, then I can like let everything, all my guard down, and I can relax. So I'm going on another trip. And yes, these are super cheap trips. I recommend Skyscanner. You can search the world to find the cheapest air flight, cheaper than you could ever imagine. And get on a plane and go, if that's helpful to you. Because I know that at least half the people with avoidance, it's actually better to just hole up, see your family, and not see anybody else. On the opposite, seeing people I know at all, and I'm afraid of being judged by them, and I can't be judged by them, and I know they're going to remember and judge me, and I can never let it go. Yeah, so this advice doesn't work for them, but I am going on another trip. I'm leaving the 6th of February. Yes, it's that quick, because if I take a long time planning these trips, then I get, I get all the details not nailed down, and then I start worrying, and then it's ineffective. So I have to do them really fast. I'm leaving the 6th of February. I'm going to Marrakesh, Morocco in Africa. And it's going to be a short trip. I'm not going for an extended amount of time. But I am going so that I have something to focus on between now and then. And again, as far as picking a place where I'm most likely never going to run into somebody that when I was in Italy, I went into a McDonald's because bathrooms. And some random person at the checkout was talking to me And turns out that her best friend grew up in the same town that I grew up in. Small town. Like 20 years later. But still, I'm like, oh my God, I can't get away. So go into a country where they speak a different language, still can't get away. Go into a continent, another different continent where you have to, so I'll go to one continent to the second to the third. That might help. Especially because I went to the largest bookstore in the state looking for a travel guide, and they didn't have one. And then I went into our library system that checks every single library in the state, and there is exactly 2 travel guides in the entire state. I'm thinking I'm not going to run into anybody I know there. I hope I can have just a couple days of, not worrying that somebody is going to ask me how my kid is doing and what he's up to. Because since that's all I talk about, I don't talk about myself. As far as people know, the only thing I am is the mother of my son. That's anybody sees me and that's the first thing out of their mouth. How's your kid? What's he up to? What's he doing? And it's like, oh. Anyway, so those are my little announcements. This book is a good one. It's very sarcastic, irreverent, funny, obnoxious, but also really straightforward, really basic, really good advice. It's the type of thing, like I said, I've gone through DBT, so I'm reading this and it's like just sinking in. It is the type of book that probably it would take, if you haven't done any of this type of therapy, 2 or 3 reads for it to really sink in, to really get it, because, effective, but heavy and deep and seemingly completely impossible. First time you read this book, you'll just dismiss every word. You'll say, like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. Actually, it does give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. They're very clipped and short, and it's not really giving you much space to practice. That's why I'm saying, like, go over it and go over it and go over it. But if you can follow this advice, it's basically what I just said in the last video about the 2-step process on how to cope with being avoidant. This one specifically with anxiety, which is a huge part of being avoidant. So it can be an effective tool, so I wanted to put this out there.